Yeah, my friend that I was talking to about this, he was saying it's like the men are going further and further into the clouds, away from the women, working on artificial intelligence to like replace the woman. Like there's this huge project in humanity right now to create robotic angels that serve the purposes of man. It's not going to serve the purposes of women. Its function is to replace women with a mechanical thing. You even have these people working on artificial wombs in Australia, like growing babies in pods. It's a replacement. And I think that's largely because in the Abrahamic religions, there's no wife. You know, God has no wife. He's this lonely dude working on a science project, which is us, with no family. He doesn't have a family. And I guess I kind of find it creepy now. It's weird.
In a way it is. Like that's drifting out further and further into outer space and into this weird territory. And I think it is. And I think it's about time to like to steer things back, to make things a little bit more grounded again, to ground the masculine and to and bring this balance between the two. But Gabon, how's your mind going? Yeah, it sounds much better. So what were you saying, Gabon?
Oh yeah, so I was basically trying to follow the conversation, but yeah, so basically you guys were talking about balancing the masculine and the feminine, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So within people or like between people, like relationships?
Well, like religion. You know, in a lot of religions, you just have like a sky daddy. There's no sky mommy or earth mommy. There's just a dude like alone commanding like a bunch of angels or something, or all of humanity, and there's no other input from a female cosmic figure. In the older religions, even the pagan religions, you know, like Odin and Freya, like they're married and they have Thor. You know, there's not this. Yeah. Odin's not by himself. You know, he's got a family that he loves and cares about. He also loves and cares about humans, but he sees that they're two different things, and you treat them in two different ways.
Yeah, it's like the masculine or the male takes like the dominant role.
Well, I think it goes further than that. I think a lot of these Abrahamic religions go so far to say, we don't need women. We don't need. Yeah, because there's not a wife.
Yeah, so God doesn't. Then Gnosticism came along, right? And Gnosticism, I think, brought back the feminine, but you know, the Gnosticism was really persecuted by the more patriarchal Christians.
Yes,
basically.
I think from a lot of monks that couldn't get laid, and they rewrote a bunch of stuff to like kick women out of it. Because you think about the nature of these people that push the religion forward. They do not have wives. They do not have kids. And they form the whole culture around loneliness and spiritual quests. Have nothing to do with reality. Has nothing to do with life. Has everything to do with like writing a book, coming up with ideas, things that are not tangible.
Yeah. That sounds very Nietzschean in a way. And I kind of think Nietzsche also saw this. I mean, he didn't really call it the feminine, but he tried to bring back the Dionysian. I think that represents the feminine energy well, even though Dionysus was a male.
Right.
Yeah, but he's very much like linked to like the more instinctual side. But if you look at the mystery schools, the Dionysian mysteries, like the original the teachings and where it comes from the old mother goddess cult. So there's a lot of like these elements woven into Dionysus as a figure, even though he is a masculine figure. So there's like this link to that as well.
Yeah, why do you think Dionysus is a masculine figure?
Well, I mean, he's like a dude. I think he's like an androgynous weird thing. Like I
Well,
don't,
at
I have
some
a lot
point,
of, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It looking at the Orphic myths, for instance, he is a masculine figure, but he becomes kind of both at the same time at some point. There's different stages in the development of Dionysus, where he starts off as one thing and then he becomes this figure of duality, where he's both masculine and feminine. So
Yeah.
I guess he's kind of like masculine, but then he's also masculine and feminine at some point too. And it really depends on, I guess, what stage of the journey we're talking about.
Yeah. He's a very androgynous figure.
Yeah.
And kind of puts off Philosopher's Stone vibes. I think that's why a lot of people in those circles are way into it. I'm not so convinced that's a model we should follow. I think it will be confusing. I think that's why I'm hammering on this. Where's God's wife? And then some answers out there are have the wife be born within you as a man and become androgynous, like that. Blend them together. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that's such a good idea. I think it's good to understand how a woman would react if you say something, and as a woman, know how a man would react if you say something, and come together. That's sort of androgyny, like, for the lack of a better term, can function in reality.
Yeah, because our culture is basically kind of going this way, right? Like this gender thing, and transgenderism is on the rise.
But it is, and I think that comes from those androgynous ideas, like the Dionysian thing. Like, there's a lot of men and women that act like that now.
Yeah,
I don't know, but what I can say is, though, even when it comes to like Dionysus in the original sense, from the pagan mystery schools, but also the Philosopher's Stone and like this marriage of the sun and the moon. It's in those traditions, it's a symbolic thing. It's linked to like the feminine is linked to like the emotional, intuitive, and instinctual, where the masculine is linked to the intellectual, thinking and like higher spiritual kind of things. And it's kind of the symbolic coming together of that. And it's not really about, in that sense, it doesn't mean that one suddenly becomes now like a man and a woman at the same time. It's more like it's symbolized as such, but it doesn't really. I guess it's like the confusing the symbol for the thing itself. That it's more like an energetical thing. It's more like it doesn't really have a gender. We are just gendering it and giving it this kind of symbolism, because I guess that's just how our brains work. But it's just, but I guess it's just about becoming, I guess as a man, you could put it like that, to become more of a full man that has like both of these sides, so that one can relate to women in a better way. That's really what it is about, because in the end, still, even if those two come together in like in the mystery schools, but also in like this Proto-Indo-European like Choreos or Thea coming together stuff. It's about creating a family, and it's about like and being embodied here on the earth, and then to create a family, a healthy family. That's the whole fucking goal of it. It's not to float off into space or to be a rock unto oneself and just be alone and not do anything. It's actually to go out there and to actually be a balanced person and go out there and have a family and then have kids and teach the kids these things too, and to have like balanced people in the world. And I think that's very much the goal of all of these rites and these rituals and regarding these traditions too. And it's not about floating off in space or just being alone. because that's one thing that I still want to add regarding like what my like from a Jungian lens, like what my anima had told me. It's not about it's not just about being with the anima and that's it. No, actually, the anima wants one to go out there in the world and to actually relate to people, because that's actually the whole fucking point of the thing.
Damn, that's such a crazy synchronicity, because something has been bothering me lately, and it is exactly that what you're talking about.
For the entire episode, please check out the description or click on the end screen. And maybe see you next time.